So today I'll be showing you how to record in Pro Tools using a recording to mix template, and also show you some things that I do, during the tracking session and what I do to get a good vocal.
You got me tripping, I be dipping, late night to gripping. You shy and timid, still handle business. Got me wishing, late night to kissing. Could never.
All right, love these headphones, these Audio Technicas, very comfortable, love them. So, first thing when it comes to recording, first and foremost, here at O.Fresh Sound, my studio, my private studio actually, I run through a Heritage HA73 preamp into my Apollo Twin. Most of you guys might go directly into your Apollo Twin, so you might not have to think about that. But for me, I go into that pre. So first thing is first, whatever studio you're in, your home setup, whatever you got going on, you need to be mindful of your whole signal flow. So with me on my Apollo Twin, there's no gain. I don't use the pre on here. I'm not using the phantom power or nothing. I'm going straight off of my pre. This Apollo is just a converter in this instance. I'm just using it as a converter basically. Also, what you want to be careful of, let me pull this up real quick. Now, as you guys can see, I'm shooting the video, so it's unmuted right now. But normally the Apollo would be muted. Be careful of inserts, be careful of sends. I don't use that stuff. I don't use what I can't see. So what I mean by that is, I know a lot of engineers, and shouts out to them, respect to them. They use the digital plugins on the Apollo, and they're using pre's on there, and they're using compressors. I've heard it. It sounds amazing. Now, the reason why I don't use it is because I have so much other things to already think about during a session. So the last thing I want to think about or worry about is what's in my little virtual rack here. I don't want to be thinking about that. So I don't even add anything to that. So back to what I'm saying. You want to be careful of any peaks or clips or crazy compression you got going on your outboard gear. I love recording analog through analog gear into my Pro Tools sessions. If I have it, I'm going to use it. But you want to be mindful of that. Now, for the people that don't use analog gear, you want to be careful of how much gain you're using, how hard you're pushing that pre. Always try to have like a target where you're going to be hitting in Pro Tools. So there's 3 ways that I know of to record in Pro Tools. Well, one, you have to arm the track, Shift R, or you can just click the arm track. With Pro Tools, you can click anywhere as long as you have, the proper tools highlighted. I can get into that in a whole nother video. But so the way I use is Command Spacebar. Another way people use, which is very common and kind of old school, I guess, is numeric 3. Another way you can record, which is basically the most simple way, is arming record, hitting play. So arm record, hit play, it records. Here's an idea I recorded. Please don't butcher me in the comments. It's just an idea I recorded to one of my old beats. I just happened to find a session. I needed a session, and I didn't want to use none of the artist stuff because their music is not out yet, and I just want to respect them. So just peep how I have the levels kind of like in a safe area. I tried to make sure that whenever I'm recording, I have the levels at a point so if they try to yell or scream or just show more expression, it doesn't clip and sound all crazy. And another thing, make sure you turn down your beats. I have an aux right now for my beats because it's all stemmed out. Make sure you turn down your beats. Like, don't have your beat super loud and then try to record a louder vocal over that. Don't do that. Like, no, corner rule. Let's just see where this vocal is hitting at. So, with this vocal, if we're actually looking at the meters, I try not to think about numbers too much. I'm using, what meter am I using? Digital VU. Some people use different meters. I use digital VU. So, as you can see, it was hitting around like 20, in between 15 to 20. That's where I try to, like, for the most part, keep, if if I know that's like their range, I keep that as their like regular range. Like, I try to keep it barely clipping that yellow, because that way you have enough headroom and you don't have that much noise floor. You can really shape and mold that vocal. Especially when I come in with analog gear, I try not to compress too much, because I want to make sure that I have space to do stuff, or the mix engineer. I'm always treating every tracking session as it's going to a mix engineer. That's just what I've been trained. That's just my thought process. Like, every tracking session I'm doing, I'm seeing as, okay, this is going to a mixer. Even though I mix myself, that's not what's going on right now. I need to make sure that the mixer has the material he needs to craft the song further to make it the greatest song it can be. And I can't be selfish and be like, oh, well, this is how I have it. Sometimes that doesn't matter at the moment. You just need to get a good vocal. There's other moments where you can see that I kind of get louder. I don't know what it is. Please don't butcher me. And you know that I'm going all the way to the top. You ain't gonna stop yet. So as you can see, like, I was like getting louder, and but I was still somewhat in that range. Like, I didn't go too crazy. And I also love clip gaining. Like, I clip gain during sessions, I clip gain in mixes. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm always cutting and tweaking the clips. So as long as I have my vocal in that range and it's hitting okay, I'm good. Like, I don't have to stress or worry about it. The only thing I would have to stress and worry about is my outboard gear. And the reason why I love using outboard gear and using outboard pre's and stuff like that is because my hand is literally like 6 inches away from the output knob. I get an input that I love and make sure that the mic doesn't sound too crazy, and I just ride my output knob. And same thing with the compressor. Right? The compressor's not on right now, but I have a warm audio. Excuse me. I have a warm audio 76, and when I use that, I'm paying attention to it. I usually keep a fast attack, or medium attack and fast release. Just make sure it's not changing the vocal too much, but changing enough where it sounds cool and I like it. A lot of the stuff I do is just what I think sounds cool. It's not always going to be right. Like, there's times where people are like, I fucks with it. And there's times where people are like, yo, what did you do to the vocal? This shit sounds crazy. So, that's the part of the process of learning and trying new things and just making those mistakes. Making those mistakes are probably the most important thing you're gonna ever, go through as an engineer or any craft. So I don't overthink it. Like I said, I can go through a bunch of these little clips. What they want, yeah. I wanna make them feel it. I'm pretty much in that same. I'm in that same realm, the 15 between 20. And like I said, don't really worry about the numbers. Try to, after you do a numerous amount of sessions, try to like have it in your mind, like, all right, I noticed that the vocals, sound decent in this range. And I noticed that I can add compression, I can add saturation, I can add de-essing, and I'm not going too crazy and the vocal doesn't sound too crazy. And it's all on you creating, those mental systems and creating those habits to get your vocal where you want it to be. I'm pretty sure I made this video longer than it needed to be. Yeah, those are some of the simple things that I think about during recording a vocal, and solely just recording a vocal, not trying to do like anything all fancy and stuff. Make sure you discover good ranges for your vocals. Make sure they're not peaking. Make sure they're not too low. Find that middle. Find that those middles for that session, that artist, and that time, and make sure you're always paying attention. If you've ever been in a session with me, I look like a zombie because I'm looking at the screen, I'm listening to what's going on in the monitors. I'm paying attention to any little meters that's going on. Like my mind is running. I may look super still in a session and look like I'm not even on this earth, but I make sure I pay attention to everything. There is no one set rule for this. Like you just have to be on your P's and Q's. Always think of it as, let's put in a football type of analogy. Like always see myself as a silent quarterback. Like even though they might not think you're not that important or wherever they feel that day, that doesn't concern you. Like you're there to do your job, and you want to make sure that you're on point and you're making everybody sound good or whoever you're working with sound good, and nothing is going out of control or out of your control at least. Control the room, control the vocal, and you'll have a great session. You have a great song. So yeah, man. If I miss anything, you already know. Hit the comment section, like and subscribe. Thank you for everybody that keeps DMing me and pushing me to do more videos. I really appreciate you because I would have never thought I would be doing this, but I'm having fun. So see you soon. Peace.